Congratulations on the purchase of your new TDS Tarp Deployment System. We at Southwestern Sales Company highly recommend that you watch this entire video presentation and completely review the operator's manual prior to operation of your new TDS. Particular attention should be given to all safety instructions. Prior to unloading, do a cursory walk-around inspection and observe for any damage that might have occurred during shipping. Notify Southwestern Sales immediately upon observing any damage. Observe all OSHA rules and regulations for loading and unloading equipment. Unloading the TDS machine is as simple as attaching properly rated chains or straps to the designated lifting points. The TDS weighs approximately 8,000 pounds. The machine can then be hoisted with a forklift, bucket loader, or an excavator. Care should be taken to keep all personnel clear when moving the machine from the delivery trailer. After unloading, do a complete walk-around inspection. Look for any damage to the machine that might have been caused during shipping. Notify Southwestern Sales immediately upon observing any damage. Inspect for any leaking fluids, for example, gasoline or diesel fuel, as well as engine oil or hydraulic fluid. Verify all fluids are at their proper level and prepare the machine for use. The TDS has adjustments that allow compatibility with various types and styles of landfill equipment. Move your equipment up to the TDS and drop your equipment blade in front of the top blade hook on the machine. If your equipment blade won't go under the blade hook on the TDS, the blade hook can be adjusted to allow your equipment blade to go under the TDS blade hook. After making any adjustments, ensure all hardware is secure. After the blade is under the blade hook on the TDS, look at the blade bumpers on the TDS. They should touch the blade as the machine is being picked up. The bumpers can be adjusted to fit your particular blade configuration. Adjust the horizontal side brackets so the TDS does not rotate too far back when the blade is raised. To raise the TDS, raise your equipment blade and slowly drive forward. To detach the TDS from your equipment, lower the equipment blade and slowly back away. When you are ready to deploy the tarps, before starting the engine, verify the remote control master switch is in the off position and the manual hydraulic control is in the neutral or center position. Start the engine, set the throttle to the desired speed, turn the remote control master switch to the on position, lift the machine. Transport to the area to be covered and engage the remote control to unwind the spool and back up your equipment. Adjust your travel speed so the tarp lays down flat and does not drag on the surface. If the working face is wider than 30 feet, after the first tarp is laid out, stop the spool using the remote control. Detach the first tarp by unhooking the 6 carabiners from the second tarp. Next, move over and pull forward again to lay out the second tarp, slightly overlapping the first tarp. Continue until the tarp is deployed. The last tarp will remain hooked to the TDS. To rewind the tarps on the spool, engage the remote, moving forward with your equipment as you go so you are not dragging the tarp. In a side-by-side move to the next tarp, connect the carabiners and continue to wind and move forward at the same time as the tarp is being wound onto the spool. Travel speed should be adjusted so the tarp is not being dragged across the surface. If the tarp is not winding on the spool straight, adjust the angle of the bulldozer or compactor to steer the tarp on straight. Operators should try to keep the tarps going straight on the spool to ensure that all tarps laid out will go back on in a smooth operation, which will conserve the life of the tarps. Tarps on the TDS can be rolled either over the spool or under the spool. For most applications, the tarp should be rolled under the spindle because it keeps the tarp closer to the ground to discourage wind from getting under the tarp while the tarp is being deployed. However, the tarp may be wound over the spool so small amounts of snow will fall off the tarp as it is rolled. You should not put tarps out if heavy snow is expected. The TDS can also be used manually in the event of a lost remote control or malfunction of the remote. The manual valve is detented in both directions to allow operation without being held in position. The remote control and manual control cannot be used at the same time. You must use one or the other. Inspect the TDS prior to each day's use, inspecting all hydraulic hoses, all fluid levels in the engine, and the hydraulic fluid level. There are 2 grease fittings and a drive chain that must be lubricated periodically. Check your operator's manual for scheduled maintenance. Keep your machine clean and spot paint any areas where bare metal is showing. With proper care and maintenance, your TDS will give you years of reliable service.